Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. I am a student and I'm currently enrolled in Principles of Biochemistry. And when I was in first grade or kindergarten, grown-ups used to always say, "What's your favorite subject in school?" It was always science. Then I got older and I went to different schools and my teachers were jerks and I stopped liking science. I got into other things like writing. And it was just because of my teachers. If I had had better teachers, I don't know, because I was good at writing at that age also. But what I'm discovering as I'm studying this class, which is 100% online, I have been printing it out, but I couldn't get to a printer for a long time. And also in the nation, we're taught not to do that. What I was really taught was don't make copies of things. Write it yourself. And so, this was an instruction from copy machines were probably new because it probably goes back to the 60s at least. And I remember in 1979 watching my teachers make photocopies using carbon paper and a machine and the original, and they would crank out the copies with this carbon and the original, and they're cranking out all these copies that look just like the original because of the carbon. So that's how old I am and what I remember. But we were taught don't do that. Handwrite it, copy it yourself. So I remember my older people with computers and younger people just wanting to draw and do their artwork on the computer. They would be like, no, draw it on a piece of paper, and I can kind of understand that. I was the one saying, no, I don't want to draw it on the paper if I can do it on the computer, But because of the elders, that reduced my dependency on these temperamental devices, because if they break down like me, I can't get to the copy machine. I mean, not the copy, but the printer. I've justified it because it's not making a copy in the literal sense, it's just printing it out. You know what I mean? But because I'm like, if I do that, and we're in such rush nowadays, but I'm doing it now. It's kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna fall back on my lessons, my teaching, my instructions, and just write it out. And I'm like, the most important thing is I'm learning it better by inevitably, as a writer, I'm gonna put it in words that I understand. So I'm not writing it verbatim as a teacher because I'm 55 and the terminology that they're using nowadays has been so dumbed down. Like, instead of kinetic energy, they're calling it potential. They're calling it all these other terms, free energy, and it's like, to help me understand it better, I put it in terms that I know, that I remember, that sound more intelligent and more scientific, because they're dumbing it down for people who don't know these terms, and they're trying to build up to that. So as I'm transcribing it, I'm getting to put it in a way that I understand it better. But so I'm sitting here, and I don't know what it is about this deep study of science, and chemistry is probably as high as you can go as far as science. Oh no, physics. That's probably higher than chemistry, because I'm maybe it's like, because chemistry is like the basics, so maybe not. It's like gets down to the atomic, subatomic levels. Pardon me. And then physics is probably putting those things together and seeing how they work. But yeah, so anyway, I'm just looking at things so scientifically now. When I got here, and just like before I got here, I eat a lot of fruits. So I walk, I'm not in a car, and I take breaks while I'm walking, and I always have some kind of fruit on me, and I will eat the fruit. I'm always in the grass, in the dirt, plants, you see, always. So 3 years later, I go back, and there's mango trees right there. You see those plants growing up out of the bushes? Those are from one pit. A mango pit is about this big. And I planted one before, and it was frightening. Growing fruits is frightening. I'm telling you. And there, as much as you might not want to believe it, sounds like a conspiracy theory, but if you go back 50,000 years, we got the moon because of a scientist who wanted to destroy the earth. Okay, that long people have been trying to kill our wonderful planet, which is really plant. We're lucky to be living among the plants, because they would be just fine without human beings. You know, the animals, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he asked Master Farad Muhammad subhanahu wa ta'ala, where did the animals come from? You know what our Savior told him? I almost don't want to repeat it, because it reminds me of Musa, and the prophet who said, you are not going to have enough patience to be to follow me around and learn from me. You're not going to have enough patience. And he said, yes, I will. I'm going to not say anything. You know, whatever you do, I'm not going to say anything. 3 times he said something. And then that's how I feel about this, because his answer was like that. So, the animals and the plants could live just wonderfully without stuff like this and buildings and things like that. You know, you think about the original people before the cave dwellers left the caves, and then they tried to take the rocks that the caves are made out of and turn it into metal and bring that all over the world. That's what they did. They found people living in houses made out of material. We call them tents. Easily built up, easily taken down. Because if you think about it, you really only need a house to protect you if you don't want to be in the rain or severe weather, natural weather, or if you have a child, you want to keep the child inside or whatever reason. But why can't we just live outside? You know, it rained. Oh, I know why. because everybody doesn't have this color. And they're cave dwellers, and they need something to protect them from the sun. For one, they'll get cancer. Everything about the planet kills these white people because they're not supposed to be on the planet. They're the reason why we have diseases. So they brought the cave all over the world. They built up not portable, but built up caves wherever they've gone. They found people living without a building, without anything, just living on the earth, sleeping under the stars, which is the best thing in the world. We go camping. Some people have been camping, or you go in your backyard. Can we sleep in the backyard? Or something like that. That's a treat for original people. We would rather sleep outside under the stars, but the white man is a cave dweller, and he wants everybody in a cave, because if you outside, he feels like threatened. I don't know why. I don't really want to think about their thought process, but they don't want us growing our own fruits and vegetables. They're really trying to kill the planet, and in killing the planet, they really want to kill everybody. They're just murderers, and they know that their time is over, and so they want to take us with them and kill off everything. They're trying to go to other planets and kill off everything. They're just killers. That's all they know how to do. Kill and kill and kill. That's what they really want to do. If they can't kill you, they're so mean to you that you cannot believe the height of the evil. I tell myself that there is no limit to their evil. When you think, oh my God, how could somebody be so evil? They're worse than that. And don't ever let yourself think that they cannot do more evil than what you see. They cannot be more evil than what you've already seen. They're trying to kill everything. Okay, so my point is these trees all came out of the same pit. It could be one way, way down there. Like the one I planted 3 feet away from where I planted the seed, mango trees started coming up. And then that happened. I had to go somewhere else because mango trees get so big. But I mean, like, I think, like, because the white man has been here so long, like, this is Monsanto's base of operations is where I am. I did not know when I came here that this is Monsanto's base of operations. And I'm like, Allah, you know what I mean? I feel like he put me where he wants me, and so I'm here for a reason. I'm just gonna do me, you know what I mean? But they don't want us to plant our own fruits and vegetables. They want you to go to the store so they can stay in business. If you plant your own fruits and vegetables, you literally never have to leave the house. You can spend your whole life at home. You know what I mean? And to me, that's just like unbelievable. The only reason you want to leave is to go see your people, to go visit people. And you could bring them all kind of food, dishes, uncooked dishes, fresh fruit and vegetables, and I don't know. It's just like a whole world opens up when you start growing fruits and vegetables. But yeah, these trees, I'm not gonna worry about it. A lot of people get worried when they see something like that. Like what I'm noticing is because I saw what the original people do. They will sit under a tree and just eat because mangoes, thousands of mangoes on a mango tree. Thousands. I'm not kidding. Thousands. But now because of the devil, the plants adapt like that. Like that. It don't take them long to figure out that don't work. I'm doing something different. You know, some people are like, I want to do it this way, so I'm gonna do it that way. Plants not like that. They're not gonna fight. You know, if it didn't work, they're gonna just automatically adapt and do something else. If the if you plant a seed somewhere and something happens that it doesn't grow to maturity and you just there, that's what I'm finding out because I go to the same spots, so I observe what happens when I these seeds that I spit out, what happens when they don't reach maturity. The next time I'm eating the same fruit, same type of plant, it's gonna look different when it comes up. For one, it's not gonna look like the same that it looked the first time. But those are mango trees right there, and I'm like, only one of them is gonna make it, but I don't know what's going on under the soil, what's going on under the ground. They probably like, okay, you know, I don't know, because sometimes, I don't know, I'm just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Because a lot of people will see that and be like, oh, it's some trees growing over here. Let me get it, you know, because some people have a green thumb and they could get the whole tree and transport it and it still lives. With me, I do my best to keep it alive, but I do not like moving a plant. If I could leave it there, like the only thing I really wanted was a little herb. Like some people have an herb garden. You got thyme, you got oregano, you got cilantro, and all these different herbs. Because oh my God, fresh herbs take your cooking, your dish way up than the kind you buy in the store in the packages. If you got herb garden, you could go out and cut some rosemary. Oh my God. I had rosemary tea before. It was delicious. But yeah, all I wanted was, since I saw all this, I had the opportunity. But even before I moved out here, I tried to keep a little mint plant because mint tastes good and everything. And I did not intend to tell you what kind of herb I wanted that I really, really like. It just tastes good. And I went to a coffee place and they told me I could get a free refill if I hang around. So I was like, okay, I'll charge my phone. And this was like early in the morning because it rained. So I'm like under this thing. And then I look and the sun's coming up and they going to work before the sun comes up. And I was like, whew, so glad I don't have to do that. But I'm glad they were there. And so I got some mint tea in a tea bag, and I'm like, it tastes like it used to taste, because before I started keeping my own mint plants, I used to drink mint tea. This Japanese or Chinese lady told me it's good in the morning, long time ago. And I was like, she probably trying to say my breath stink or something in the morning. But remember on A Different World when Whitley Dwayne, her husband, was like, how you wake up with fresh minty breath? And I think she went to sleep with some mint in her mouth. It's, you could just put it under your tongue or like between your teeth or something and go to sleep. And that's probably how she did that. But yeah, mint, you can put in salad, soup, ice cream, coffee, vegetables, cooked vegetables. Put some mint in there, and it's gonna be like, this tastes so good, but you don't know why. Something like ginger, if you just put a little ginger, but not enough for it to be spicy hot, but just for a little hint of the flavor, make it taste so much better. And ginger is one of those plants that I'm like up in the air because it's a root. Ginger root will grow up into nutmeg. Yeah. That's why they had them wars in Grenada. I don't know if you remember, but in the 80s, America went to war with Grenada over nutmeg because it's close. The Spice Islands is far, and so they started a plantation on Grenada. But the Grenada people was like, "No, y'all gotta go." And they went to war. The Spice Islands used to be a Muslim secret. Nobody knew that they had these trade routes and stuff, and they knew where it was, and they would take it and trade with other people who wanted these delicious spices. I could run them down, but I don't even want to go there, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I've seen it. I was in New Orleans, and this smell of nutmeg. I learned the difference between nutmeg and cinnamon the first time I went to jail. We in line waiting for breakfast, having French toast in jail. And I'm just, miserable, but I'm listening to the other ladies talk, and they're eating the food and like, this is really good. They was like, is that cinnamon? They're like, nope, that's nutmeg. And that's where I learned the difference between nutmeg and cinnamon. You could, get knowledge and wisdom wherever you can. A lot of people go to jail and become Muslims, and it really reforms you if you just got that in you. But yeah, so watching the plants. And my class is biochemistry, and the reason why I'm taking science classes is because my degree is in journalism, which is arts degree, and it's like science. I'm getting such like no, you cannot take science, take music, take art, take dance, but don't get into chemistry and medicine. But I'm doing it anyway. And when I think biology, I was thinking human beings because I'm kind of in the nursing program. If you know anything, Yakub's teachings is still going on, and the nurse is a principal. She's like, when a baby is born, the nurse, I don't want to mention it because it's just dawning on me. I have read Message to the Black Man continuously. Like, soon as I finish, I started again. Soon as I finish, I started again. Since 2006, I've been reading this book. And just like last month, I was reading chapter 55. I just posted it on my blog because I posted another chapter too, but I made sure to post that one because the nurse, who is the one who's supposed to prevent you from seeing the doctor, that's how I look at it. If the nurse can get you well, then you go on. You know what I mean? You don't have to go. It's not serious enough to see the doctor. You know, the nurse handled it like, boom, you better go ahead on, and don't do that no more, but you better. So go on and enjoy your life. This nurse, Yakub's nurse, which is still going on today, which I think is so cutthroat to try to get into a nursing program. As soon as the baby is born, that it come out the mother can't see what's going on. She in labor, she up here, she not looking down there, most of the time. Sometimes they might be looking, or at least like alert, aware, like what's going on, you know what I mean? But the nurse killed the baby as soon as it come out. The nurse supposed to be helping you get better, and the obstetric department is the only good place in the hospital. It was supposed to be. But these nurses, I'm pretty sure they're still doing that some kind of way, because it happened to me. I really do not want to go there, but I'm still talking. And this video was like, I don't know, I've kind of been out of it because them floods. You know what I mean? I'm trying to recuperate, but that was very traumatic. So I'm trying to just get back to myself. And this is kind of like therapy. But yeah, the nurses, I'm pretty sure some kind of way they still killing black babies. Because I didn't even know I was pregnant. My stomach is hurting. This was before I became a Muslim. So I go to the hospital and she's like, yeah, you got a dead baby in your uterus. If you want the backstory, I have a mental diagnosis. I was on medication with Risperidol, I believe, and it stopped my period. I didn't have a period for years. I didn't have a period. So my boyfriend gets out of jail. We arranged to meet each other. I'm like, I don't got a period. I'm not going to get pregnant. I got pregnant. And she induced my labor so that this child would come out. And the baby was black as this. Like black, can't get no blacker. That's what I call it. Can't get no darker. Can't get no blacker. Can't get no blacker. So I gave birth to this beautiful baby. And yeah, so the nurse, somehow, but also the marriage process is the same too. You gotta get a test to see if you're qualified to get married, and the doctor could easily say no, you're not getting married. But what I think has happened organically, I know one family that has two dark parents. One, I'm 55 years old and I've been thinking through my whole life. One, everybody else, one of the parents is darker than the other, or they both lighter. I only know one family where both parents can't get no blacker. And all the children can't get no blacker. They got a lot of them, like 7. All of them can't get no blacker. One family in my whole 55 years. But that has been going on for 6,000 years. So I think it's just occurring organically. That's why I'm very, very proactively telling people I know personally who can't get no darker or even just really, really dark. Make sure you marry somebody as dark or darker if you close to can't get no darker. I'm like extremely dark, looking really, really dark. When I was born, I was high yeller. Believe it or not, my baby pictures, I was really, really light. And I heard my grandmother talking about the baby's ears. If the baby's ears are darker than the rest of the body, then the baby gets darker over time. And I think that's another evolutionary process that happened over these years. If the baby is born light, then the nurse won't kill it. And so that just like the nurse, probably because I'm in the nursing program now, it really, really hit me, because I'm so geared toward helping people that they like, no, if you helping people, we're gonna lose our jobs, because now they got medication, and I'm repeating myself, but medication is not medicine. Medication just keep you alive, but it does not cure the disease. You take it until you die of something else. I want people to get better. So I'm like, I was calling it preventative, but I saw somewhere they just called it preventive medicine. And I'm like, that is a better word, preventive medicine. And so if I really want people to get better, the people who are in that field, and you could be the security guard at the hospital, you could be doing paperwork for insurance companies, but if you work anywhere, you could be in the cafeteria. I have nothing to do with the medicine, but you don't want me because I'm trying to shut it down. Okay, where we don't even need hospitals because nobody gets sick. Everybody knows how to eat, and they're eating the way they know how to eat and when. Okay, so yeah, that seems like a utopia or something, right? Where nobody dies, but that's how it was in biblical days. If you do the math, the grandparents were outliving their children in the Bible. So and so begat so and so, and he was 300 years old. And then he begat so and so and so and so, and and so and so and so and so. And then those people that he had begat so and so and so and so. And then the ones that he begat, they lived 29 and 33 score and 100 years. And they rested with their fathers, depending on your translation. Then further down, they go back to their grandparent, and he lived 950 years, and then he rested with his fathers. So over time, people's eating habits deteriorated, and the grandchildren are great-grandchildren or whatever, but they're not eating the same food as their grandparents. And they died before them. A lot of people, it's in the Bible. I read it. But what I noticed is nobody lived longer than 1,000 years. And we're taught that when you get close to that age, you like, okay, I'm already, I've seen everything. I don't want to live no more. But in the Quran, some people do live longer than 1,000 years. So it probably, depends on your religion, and that's probably it. But yeah, so that's all I really wanted to say. I haven't really made a long video, but it looks like we entering into another season. So summer on the way. We almost halfway through this year. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I always tell myself, just make it till it stops raining. Just make it past the winter, because that's when everybody dies. Just make it till morning. You know what I mean? Make it through the darkness of the night. You know, Muslims have a saying, if you find yourself in hell, just keep walking. My son said, run. You know, he's a boy. They run all the time. He said, run through it. You can't really speed up the time, but it's coming. The sun is always going to come up. And I had like little sister worries. Like I had to have a night light and all that stuff. Then I got older, and for some reason I was thinking it's going to be dark forever. The sun ain't never coming up. It like blew up or hit a nebula. That's something about science too. Ignorance is bliss. But if you look, the sun, and that happens to stars, and it's not going to be there forever. So sometimes I think maybe while it was on the other side, it blew up and it's going to be nighttime forever and all the plants are going to die. And we're going to die before them. So yeah, it's dark forever. But now I know the Bible's translation is wrong. That book we had to read in junior high school, The Sun Also Rises. The sun always rises. So I'm leaving with that, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hit me up at what's up, no apostrophe, at homemakingfortheblackwoman.com. Assalamu alaikum, my heart.